Use headphones for best experience.
Today, ComixFM brings to you an interplanetary DC Dark Horse war that is written in blood, acid, and fire. Superman and Batman versus aliens and Predator. Brace yourselves for a savage clash where skulls are trophies, volcanoes are battlegrounds, and survival is earned through tooth, blade, and heat vision. Written by Mark Schultz and brought to life by artist Ariel Olivetti, this story rips through the flesh of two worlds and leaves no mercy in its wake. If you love seeing your favorite heroes drenched in gore and glory, make sure to subscribe, share, and spread the word. Your support fuels us to bring you even more blood-curdling tales from the depths of the multiverse. Without further ado, let's dive in. Chapter 1. Close Encounters of the Dangerous Kinds. Deep within the Andes Mountains, a team of 5 volcanologists set out to explore the towering peak of Viejo Abuelo, stunned to find signs of activity in the long-dormant volcano. As they discussed its last known eruption, Pierre couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, glancing over his shoulder repeatedly. His instincts were proven right. 5 razor-sharp discs sliced through the air, decapitating each of them in one swift, brutal motion. Their bodies tumbled down the snowy slopes, coming to rest lifeless and still. In Gotham City, Batman silently observed Potatoes Rostov attempting to strike a deal with Michael Cray, the steelworker union rep. Despite his infrared vision struggling against the ambient heat, Batman sensed movement above. Grabbing onto an overhead chain, he swung towards the source, landing right in the midst of 3 predators. One lashed out, a blade slicing into his shoulder and knocking him off balance. Regaining his footing, Batman prepared for a fight, but the predators had already vanished. Confused, Batman noted their uncharacteristic reluctance to hunt. Meanwhile, in Metropolis, Superman soared toward the B-13 power generator at Sector C, following John Henry's alert about its dangerous overheating. Entering the tunnels, Superman discovered 2 predators tampering with the generator. They turned, firing their laser cannons. The blasts weren't lethal, only blinding. By the time Superman's vision cleared, the predators were gone. With the threat neutralized, Superman and John Henry stabilized the generator, averting disaster. At the Daily Planet, Superman and Lois listened as Perry White burst in, reporting that Mount Viejo Abuelo had erupted unexpectedly, and 5 volcanologists were missing. Perry assigned Clark to cover the story in Peru, with Lois tagging along. Upon arrival, they found strange fabric that even Clark's microvision couldn't identify. Using his telescopic sight, Superman spotted armed men boarding helicopters. Realizing it was no ordinary news story, he asked Lois to retreat while he descended into the volcano as Superman. Inside the smoldering pit, Superman discovered a soldier impaled by a Yautja spear. Before he could investigate further, an explosion erupted, killing more soldiers. As Superman tried to save them, Batman appeared. They compared notes. Batman had tracked volcanic dust from Predator sightings in Gotham to Viejo Abuelo. He revealed that the League of Prime Nations had formed a terrestrial defense initiative to counter Predator threats, but their soldiers had been decimated. The 2 descended further, only to be ambushed by a Predator cannon blast. Superman shook it off, but Batman was buried under rubble. As Superman moved to help, a horde of xenomorphs swarmed him. Fighting off the aliens, Batman freed himself and joined the battle, managing to overpower one xenomorph before being overwhelmed. To his surprise, 4 predators intervened, slaughtering the xenomorphs before restraining Batman and dragging him to their hidden ship. Inside, Batman freed himself, only to confront an alpha predator. Addressing it as friend, Batman attempted negotiation, but when that failed, he slapped the alpha. The predator mimicked Batman's words and struck back. As the other predators moved in, the alpha halted them, opting for a duel. Though Batman was battered, he managed to stun the alpha with a blowback defibrillator, claiming its armor as a trophy. Outside, Superman battled xenomorphs as the volcano began to erupt. He heard Lois scream and rushed to her, blasting through the magma with his heat vision and taking out the predator that held her captive. The remaining predators, seeing Superman's might, saluted him, signaling for him to follow. He and Lois were led to the hidden ship, where Batman, now armored, awaited with the Predators. Batman explained that these Predators meant no harm. They saw Superman as a sun spirit, and Batman as his emissary. They had crash-landed on Earth 14,000 years ago, surviving in the volcano's warmth and cultivating xenomorph eggs as part of their rituals. With the volcano erupting, they now sought a new refuge. Superman, valuing life, proposed a pact. The Predators would never harm humans again, and in return, he would relocate his Fortress of Solitude to help them leave Earth. Batman relayed the agreement to the Predators, and Superman flew off to prepare. Unbeknownst to them, the Terrestrial Defense Initiative had other plans. The leaders, aware of the threat, ordered the volcano and everything within it to be vaporized. Chapter 2. The War for Earth. High above the Andes, Superman descended with the Fortress of Solitude, prepared to help the Predators escape Earth. Before he could land, the Terrestrial Defense Initiative, TDI, launched a relentless missile assault. Superman skillfully dodged the projectiles, but the mountain took heavy damage. Ignoring the destruction, he pressed forward. TDI agents declared that by their directive, Superman was a threat too, an alien just like the Predators. Deep inside the volcano, Superman found Lois waiting alongside Batman. Batman revealed that the TDI's attack had driven the Predators into a frenzy. Now, they wanted one last glorious battle with the outside world. Superman urged Batman to convince them otherwise, promising they would live to hunt another day if they boarded the Fortress of Solitude. One by one, the Predators complied, entering the massive structure. But once inside, tensions flared. One Predator, sensing danger, destroyed Kalex, Superman's robotic assistant. Outside the fortress, Batman warned Superman that the Predators thrived on chaos. Superman reassured him that Kalex would greet them in their language and calm them down. Superman had another plan. He intended to gather all the xenomorphs and secure them in the fortress. Batman adamantly opposed the idea, but Superman was resolute. There would be no genocide on his watch. Despite Batman's objections, he and Lois followed Superman inside. Within the fortress's zero-gravity chambers, things quickly went wrong. As Lois and Batman materialized, the Predators attacked. Lois, quick-witted, ripped a propulsion unit from Kalex's remains, using it to propel herself and Batman through the weightless environment, with Predators in pursuit. Meanwhile, Superman ventured back into the volcano. Using his freezing breath, he preserved the xenomorph eggs before transporting them to the Elcher ship. With immense strength, he hoisted the craft and positioned it before the particle beam teleporter. Superman then re-entered the fortress, only to be ambushed by the Predators. He quickly subdued them with heat vision and blinding speed, confiscating their weapons before they could regroup. Superman linked with the remains of Kalex, instructing it to activate the super robot and establish contact with the TDI, urging them to hold fire. He also tasked his robots with repairing the Yautja ship. Meanwhile, the Predators inside the ship plotted another assault, but before they could act, the Hive Queen emerged, brutally impaling one of them. Inside the fortress, Batman battled the Predators, neutralizing them with a custom toxin he had synthesized from their blood during previous encounters. The super robot tried to negotiate with TDI, but the agency issued a grim ultimatum, 1 hour before total annihilation. As Batman fought his way through the chaos, he was incapacitated, and Lois was knocked out by the Hive Queen. When she regained consciousness, Superman stood before her. She informed him that Batman had been captured. Using his super hearing, Superman tracked Batman's heartbeat, leading them through the fortress to a wall that concealed an alternate dimension, one without oxygen or sunlight. Inside, Batman hung, encased in a xenomorph cocoon, barely breathing with the aid of his emergency breather. Dislocating his joints, he freed himself. But the Hive Queen struck, pinning him down. Batman used the lack of gravity to his advantage, dodging and stabbing the creature with the toxin, but its hide was too thick. It grabbed him, but Superman arrived just in time, freeing him from its grasp. Batman tossed the toxin to Superman, who rammed it down the Queen's throat, subduing the beast. Both heroes, exhausted, left the dimension. Outside, TDI prepared to obliterate the volcano, but one commander stalled the countdown, granting Superman 15 more minutes. Inside the fortress, predators had gone rogue, destroying Superman's robots, including the super robot. Regrouping, Superman and Batman formulated a plan. Batman provided Calyx with the formula to subdue the predators, which was pumped through the fortress's ventilation system. One by one, the predators collapsed and were secured back in their ship. With only 3 minutes left until TDI's final strike, Batman voiced his doubts about risking their lives for killer species, but Superman remained resolute. Batman, with a grin, declared that if Superman was in, so was he. In a last-ditch effort, Superman hurled the fortress out of the volcano, prompting TDI to release Hunter-Seeker missiles. Superman shot into the sky, luring the missiles away before breaking Earth's gravity and launching the fortress into space. He ordered Calyx to beam the Outer ship aboard. Batman, piloting the vessel from within, set coordinates for the Predator's home planet and ejected just in time for Superman to catch him mid-air. Chapter 3: Aftermath. Back on solid ground, the three watched as the TDI unleashed its full firepower on the volcano, reducing it to rubble. Superman took solace in knowing no lives were lost. Batman, ever pragmatic, reminded him that his priority had always been human lives. Calyx chimed in, revealing that if the predators had died, an ancient distress signal would have summoned even greater dangers to Earth. In their own way, Superman and Batman had averted an interplanetary war. Lois, already envisioning the headlines, rejoiced at the story she would tell. With the crisis averted, the heroes turned their backs to the smoldering remains of Viejo Abuelo, ready for whatever came next. Thanks for watching this blood-soaked battle between legends. Get ready for more brutal showdowns, because heroes and monsters like these were born to fight. If you enjoyed this War of Worlds, like, comment, share, and subscribe to ComixFM for more carnage and chaos. Support the comic book industry. These stories exist because of fans like you. All characters and content belong to their rightful publishers. This video was made purely to celebrate and spread the love for comics. Stick with us, because when legends bleed, ComixFM will be there to tell the tale. Until next time, stay savage.